We started a national franchise in the Tulsa area. I found it here. We grew it across the United States. COVID, it was absolutely a casualty of COVID. SeekingSitters serviced schools, parents going out, date nights, and all of that stopped during COVID. So we felt that, survivalist feeling at that time frame. Like, what do we do? How do we get through this? And the business didn't completely die, but it was absolutely on life support. And at that time, my husband and I looked to each other and said, what are we going to do?
Welcome to Sharing Passion and Purpose. I'm your host, Nancy Moore, and every week I bring you stories and conversations to help you build a passionate and purpose-filled life, one that's profitable and aligned with who you are. Let's get started. Hi, everybody. If you can tell, this is a little bit different format than I have done in the past. This is a new season, a new guest. Actually, she's a former guest, but a new season. A new guest today. Welcome, Adrienne Kallweit.
Thanks for letting me be here, Nancy.
Yes.
Always a pleasure to see you and sit with you and chat and catch up as well.
Well, you have some really fun things that you have been working on here in the Tulsa area. And just so people know you a little bit, if you would just maybe share a tiny bit of your story, because you were somebody that I look to as far as, being such an incredible entrepreneur.
Oh, I don't even really know where to start. But
start with SeekingSitters.
Well, I think entrepreneurialism, in my definition is just kind of survivalist. You are chugging through life, business, and you've got to make it work. Finding whatever the next journey is, trying out different things and making sure that you can not only make ends meet, but make a successful business that not only fulfills yourself, but can actually bring in a revenue and you can derive from that. So, I've been an entrepreneur since, I was a little kid. We had numerous businesses when my husband and I were first married. One of the most probably successful one when we were younger was SeekingSitters. We started a national franchise in the Tulsa area. I found it here. We grew it across the United States. COVID, it was absolutely a casualty of COVID. SeekingSitters serviced schools, parents going out, date nights, and all of that stopped during COVID. So we felt that, survivalist feeling at that time frame. Like, what do we do? How do we get through this? Of course, we were there to help the workers that needed to work and some of the schools that were in service, and the business didn't completely die, but it was absolutely on life support. And at that time, my husband and I looked to each other and said, what are we going to do? Let's go back to our roots of development. We both have degrees in construction management, always doing something on the side in some type of property development through all the years. Mm-hmm. And we looked at our office staff and we said, we have enough business to keep you guys afloat and going. We're going to go get another job. We had 7 kids. We had, a home. We had our farm. We had to make ends meet. And so one of the things happening during COVID was construction. And, as real estate was growing, people were still at Lowe's. We were going to Lowe's and shopping and building and growing our kind of real estate property development side of our life, just survivalist. We flipped probably 6 or 7 properties the first year, and just kept going from there, moving our family around. It was definitely hard on our entire family, and it was all of us all in. We found ourselves moving to Bartlesville during that journey. We found an old building that needed to be renovated, and incredible old building downtown. Mm-hmm. We thought, being from Tulsa, I didn't know a lot about Bartlesville. And we thought, and I'd been there, we had a SeekingSitters location there years earlier. And we thought we would just fix up that building, drive back to Tulsa every day. We just thought it was, a pit stop. Our kids were in school there so that we could, complete the big construction project. And it did not become a pit stop. That community just completely welcomed us in. It is our home away from home. It is incredible community. And we just fell in love. And so we got much more immersed in the community, finishing out the building. We couldn't find anybody to rent the retail spaces. And so, that part of the story, because you and I have talked before, we decided to put our own, first we were just kind of missing a fun little date night spot like we would go to in Tulsa. And so we put just a little lounge, palace rooms in one of the retail spaces. And it did just fine. It was a lot of fun. It just was the entrepreneurial, journey. You just find a solution for a problem. And then the second retail space was ready about 8 months later, almost a year later, was ready to finish out. Couldn't find anybody to rent that space out as well. And so we put in a second restaurant, and the concept grew from there. And the community was really what I feel like we were almost missing back in Tulsa as well, back home, that we were always striving for that community base, that community feel with people around you. And I think that was a post-COVID thing as well. Like you missed that connection, that fellowship, being together, being close together and talking to one another. And that's what we brought in our restaurant spaces. And so as we were ready to get back home to Tulsa, we weren't ready to stop the journey of the restaurant world because it was going well. We're having a lot of fun. And most importantly, all of our family works together in it. And that is just the coolest thing right now. I mean, I get to go to work with my kids every day, and we all love being together. It's a lot of fun, and they all are so unbelievably talented. And so we brought it back to Tulsa, and we just finished opening up Lollipops, and then Palace Rooms opened last weekend. And in the same breath, we get to build out and develop out old buildings is kind of what the journey is in these restaurant concepts. We purchased the original Goldie's location at 51st and Lewis, and the renovation was unbelievable. We actually filmed a documentary of it, which we're going to start filming our kind of interview process, and the documentary should be out in a few months. I'm not 100% sure how soon it'll be out, but the construction journey was unbelievable. I mean, that's a building we've all been into. If you grew up in Tulsa, you've had the pickle bar, you've been in that building, and to walk in there and see how it was just completely vandalized and just, not treated with the love and respect that we all remembered the building. And so we were able to take it back down to the, just the frame, build it back up, and create a beautiful space that, again, replicates that same community feel. And that's one thing that bringing these concepts back to Tulsa, I was shy and hesitant, like, are we going to have that same community feel in this bigger city that I call home? I grew up a mile down the road from the old Goldie's location, and it is exactly that. The neighbors are coming in. Our spaces are designed in a tight-knit feel so that you're there with people, and that energy is just infectious. If you love it, that's what you love. And so we get to bring that love of entrepreneurialism, of the building, the construction, and just kind of keep going forward, and then bring a little bit of passion about our family and how we, bring that community together. So I hope that answered your question.
Yes.
I put it all together.
Yes. I love it, because that just kind of takes us from SeekingSitters to even where you are now. So I want to talk to you about the seasons that you've gone through in your entrepreneurial journey, because you have something that's a little unique, I think, and that is your business partner is your husband. I mean, he's your partner in life. He's your partner in business.
Absolutely.
And so I would like to kind of talk about that, because as you have been dreaming about doing these different things, even starting at SeekingSitters and then, going into the buildings, which you both have a background in, and then restaurants, like, who is the dreamer? Who's the doer? How do you guys work together? How do you make that happen?
Well, we are trouble together. Okay. I would say that. I mean, we together, we can kind of conquer anything that's in front of us. And I think through our faith and strength and, trusting God in these little journeys, we follow the lead a lot. I think through that foundation, we just charge forward, and we trust that, if the door opens, this is the direction we're supposed to go. And business is hard. Like, it's not just like every door opens and we're just, walking through every minute. I mean, it's hard, but you can tell the difference between when the doors are slamming shut and this is not the right direction. So that's a little bit about, how we find our journey, but it wouldn't happen if we weren't together in it. I mean, we are completely balanced in, there's some things David can do, there's some things that I can do, but I don't necessarily think one of us is the dreamer and one of us is the kind of pusher about it. I just think, this bringing the restaurants back to Tulsa, David was like, let's do it. It sounds like fun. Bringing the restaurants to Bartlesville, David, I think we can do this. Let's do this here. So, I mean, I think it's a balance. We can see where our strengths and weaknesses are. We get along better when we work together. It's just, how can you continue a fight when you've got to go figure out what screw to pick up at Lowe's? I mean, we can't continue a petty fight when we've got to move on with business. And so absolutely, there's a kind of a gift that we work well together. I think maybe our kids see that too. I mean, it's not possible to be human and not get in a conflict with your partner, your kids, your family, whatever. But I think we have a really clear communication path as well. I mean, it's very stressful at times, especially starting up a new business. There's so much pressure, and we've just learned how to balance each other in that and understand each other's strengths and weaknesses. I don't believe in the old adage, don't go to bed angry. I think that sometimes you need to go get some sleep, and step away from each other and come back with a clear mind. There's just little tricks that, I mean, there's a book that I should probably write, How to Work with Your Spouse, but there's some just tricks that we've learned over the years, how to respect each other's strengths and weaknesses. I don't ever think that I should expect David to operate like I can, and David should not expect that I can operate like he can. And so it's just been a really good relationship. I think, us together, the way that we continue our entrepreneurial journey is because we are so strong together.
And I know David too, and I do feel like you complement each other so well, in business and in life. And so I just wanted to hear your perspective on, kind of a peek behind the curtain on how it really is.
I don't know. I think I have to ask my kids about how it works for sure. Yeah. I mean, it's just, I wouldn't do it any other way. I feel like I won the lottery being able to work with him and have this life's journey, because it's a lot of fun. It has been a lot of fun, for sure.
So I'm glad you said that. I feel like you make things fun because that is your perspective. That's just, your outlook. You're always looking for the good. You're always looking, at how to make things work. So is there something that you maybe learned early on in your journey? Because I've known you for, I feel like 20 years, but when you first started SeekingSitters, so is there something that you learned early on that maybe has helped you even to this day in your business pursuits? It's funny, as we get a little bit older, Nancy, as we have known each other a while, the wisdom that you grow over the years, it just starts to surface. Like you're getting more wisdom as you're growing in business. But when the things start to come out that you see, oh, wow, I didn't see perspective like that. We've started enough businesses that very early on, I can tell if this is going to be a hit or not. I mean, I can just tell by consumer behavior. And I noticed that just as we started growing our businesses, that you can just tell by their reaction. When we opened Palace Rooms, it is a wonderful, beautiful space, a kind of upper end cocktail lounge, really cool booth spaces, hangout. Cool place to be in. But it's a very local to Bartlesville feel. We built it with the community in mind. And so it did fine. I'm just saying, I noticed when we opened Lollipops, I just saw that consumer, their behavior of loving that feel, the concept. And I don't know if I'm not really putting it into words very well. Just as you asked me the question, like, what have I noticed as I've grown in business, is I just saw that concept was kind of hit the consumer in a different way, an instant hit kind of thing.
And I recognized that I saw that. Like I said, I think that we could do this again. Like the way the consumer reacted to this brand. And as we moved the brands to Tulsa, we realized all the woodfire brands move together. So they kind of work in tandem with each other. So we have 1908, Palace Rooms, and Lollipops all under the same roof out of one kitchen. It's kind of how the concept works. But it was Lollipops that really I saw the consumer react differently. And so I think as I grew in wisdom and business, I can see what a consumer really is, are your friends being nice and just helping you out and buying your whatever today? Or is it reaching the masses? Is it reaching people beyond those that are just, helping you out as a friend and, or have just gotten a hold of your product by accident? If it's reaching those masses and the consumer is really understanding what that is, I mean, that's really where it kind of clicks with you that this is a product I need to take and grow. And then that's the entrepreneur's job at that point is how do I reach the masses, but stay the way that you originally offered, like stay with that original product without losing that unique feel why they came for it. So those little things, just as you grow business, I mean, you can read a book and you can try to learn that, but really it's just the repetition of doing it over and over and over again.
Years. You say over and over.
Years.
Before we get back to the show, I want to take a minute to thank today's sponsors. Today's show is brought to you by 5 Star Painting of Tulsa. They painted the exterior of my home and I could not be happier. They're really my go-to painting company because they're engaged in every step of the process, from the paint consultation to the final follow-up, and they are meticulous with every detail, so you don't have to be. They're family-owned, insured, and members of the Tulsa Home Builders Association, and they combine top high-quality work with high-quality products. So when you have a painting project in the Tulsa area, 5 Star Painting is the one to call, and estimates are always free. Find them at 5starpainting.com/Tulsa. Connect with them today and you will be glad you did. So I want to talk for a minute about your restaurants because you said construction management is your background, you and David, and you guys do a phenomenal job when you're renovating. You are very thoughtful on, keeping the bones of the place and what you can reuse, use as a resource. I've seen all of that. And so the restaurants, you going into the restaurant industry, you guys kind of took me by surprise years ago. And, I've been to the Bartlesville location. They're incredible restaurants, very well done. But tell me, you're talking about people gravitating to the restaurants and that kind of thing. So you've duplicated here in Tulsa, which is also an incredible location. But talk to me about the food, about being in the restaurant industry, because now you can add being a restaurateur to all of your accolades that you've done. And I would have never thought that would have been in the cards for you all. But share a little bit about being in the restaurant industry, sure, because there are so many restaurants out there. So talk to us about yours specifically, the concepts, why you've decided to do it the way you've done it. It's so well done, but I want people to understand. And
I mean, I love that you asked that specific question because that ties in to, I know your audience is, entrepreneur based, building business based, mm-hmm, women entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. The thing to see about what we did in the restaurant industry is we took our business background and we just layered an industry that already exists. I didn't have to invent how to run a restaurant. There are thousands of hours of learning how to run a restaurant. Mm-hmm. And so if you see an industry that you're interested in, go learn about that industry and layer it with the skills that you have. I am a constant learner. I mean, I cannot not be learning. Like if I'm not learning, mm-hmm, much like you, Nancy. I mean, mm-hmm, I think we attract to each other because we love, yes, that constant learning. I got my master's degree over the last 2 years because I wanted to stay off social media and I wanted to focus on something reading. I mean, it just happened, and mm-hmm, I learned the 2 years before that, I was learning how to run a restaurant. And there's just an enormous amount of information online about how to successfully run a restaurant, the systems you need, your percentages, your numbers, where you should be. Somebody's already solved all of that for you. You don't need to reinvent that. But how to run the business, that is what you're doing here, Nancy. I mean, that is what you're doing. That's what you're teaching your people, is how to run the business and how to get up every day, how to know that you're the only one that's going to show up and open the doors that day and take out the trash that day and make sure that everything's done. That layered in the business that you want to jump into. And so it was definitely accidental getting in the restaurant world. I mean, we were just trying to find a solution for the empty retail spaces that we had. We could not rent them. And the most important thing was to finish out this building, get it rented and get it sold. You know, I mean, that was the path at that time. And so what to put in there is something that, you know, seemed easy and seemed, you know, not overdone. Or, I mean, it was just going to be a small casual lounge that I could learn how to run it from other resources. And so it just kind of grew from there. And I mean, as you know us, we don't do anything halfway. And so we jumped in, learned about it. And I think the one thing that attracted us mostly to it is we love working with people. We love running companies with lots of people. And a good friend that I first made in Bartlesville, and I was trying to kind of research, what does Bartlesville need? What can we put in our spaces? He said to me, we need to hire people. You need to be able to hire people. And I remember sending him my first week, we had 10 people on payroll. I was like, we're there. Like I'm here growing this company. And now we have, you know, almost 100 employees across all of our restaurants now. I mean, like,
wow.
So I think working with those people, that's a lot that drives us. First, working with my family, but, you know, working with the people that we work with is absolutely above even the community coming in the door. I love being able to work with the people that are learning a new skill, whether they're there for a minute in and out, or they're with us for a lifetime. I mean, I want to be able to bless them and they bless us, you know? And so that's a big part of what I think the restaurant industry showed us very early on, that we loved that interaction with people. And our restaurants are and, you know, SeekingSitters was very technology driven. I mean, at the end of the day, we were a .com back in the, you know, starting a on-demand babysitting service back before Uber was even Uber. So technology is a big piece of it. And we've brought massive technology into the restaurant as well. And so that fills my need. And then David is just having a blast. I mean, you know, being able to be the bartender as well as an expo and just all the different facets of business. One thing we did learn in SeekingSitters, and I don't know if a lot of your audience can resonate with this, if they're also serial entrepreneurs, but, you know, we've learned in SeekingSitters, we have to keep doing new businesses. And so SeekingSitters was a massive enterprise company that took a lot of our time, I guess, out of our entrepreneurial chunks. And so we learned that moving through businesses is better served for us to find new things to do. And so that's just kind of what we do. We grow, we build, we sell. We grow, we build, we sell. And so that's more of what we are in our entrepreneurial journey now. And so we've sold SeekingSitters, we've sold some other concepts that we've had in between. And so that would be the next plan for what we do with these restaurants. I think any entrepreneur should be building a business, whether you do run it for the rest of your life, you should be starting it with the idea of selling it, because you don't ever want to trap yourself that you're the only person that can run this company. That burns you out. I know that's such a phrase right now, but that's where it comes from, is that you feel trapped in that company. You can't ever step away. And so you should build it that way where you can choose to run it forever. I don't know our journey, but you build it to where it can be sold when you're ready to do so.
Gosh, that was good advice. Is it the systems that you're putting in place,
100%.
Okay.
Great. Yes. Systems are critical.
Yeah.
Critical. And sometimes you don't know the systems that you need until you're in it. I think that was a lot of what's happening right now, live right now, is we're building systems as we see people. I think it's a failure for a company to come in and build systems and try to put people into those systems immediately. You can try your best effort, but you've got to watch how people move within your system and then make some accommodations for human behavior. And so that's kind of where we are right now, is balancing from already built systems, seeing how our people work, seeing what's most successful for us, and then building systems around our specific company.
Okay.
Systems are critical. If you're building a business and you're not putting systems into place, it will not thrive. You have to have an understanding of your costs. You have to have an understanding of what's on your to-do list. You have to have an understanding of what needs to be done today. So, I mean, it's critical in building a successful company. And I mean, I would say our businesses are successful because at the end of the day, they put food on our plate at home for our family. I'm not trying to be, write our name across the United States. I mean, that's not success to me. Success is that I'm able to provide for my family and have a great career and have a lot of fun. So, I mean, that's a big piece of it too.
Today's show is brought to you by World Travel Services. World Travel is nearly a 70-year-old business specializing in corporate, vacation, group, and incentive travel. Their mission is simple: make every client's travel experience the very best it can be, from the moment you leave home to the moment you return. Their seasoned advisors combine the latest technology with exceptional relationships across airlines, hotels, resorts, cruise lines, and boutique outfitters. No trip is too complex. And when the inevitable travel delay happens, you won't be standing in a long line or stuck on hold. World Travel has your back. For smoother, better, and more enjoyable travel wherever you go, visit worldtraveltoday.com and let them know you heard about them on Sharing Passion and Purpose. Building a business is hard. I mean, sometimes even on the best days, it's hard, and you and David are both boots on the ground. You're not afraid to sweep things up, to show people how it's done. But you also know the importance of hiring good people. And so could you kind of share just a little insight on what you look for just in the hiring process, kind of some things that maybe stand out to you when you're interviewing people?
Hiring is something we have done for my entire career.
I know.
That's really what SeekingSitters was, is we talk about knowing something in and out. When people ask about the restaurant, oh my gosh, how do you hire people? Like, that is never an issue. There are always people to be hired out there. It takes time. It's another job. And if you're saying we can't hire people, you're not doing that part of the job. It's like saying there's trash all over the building. It's because you're not taking it out. You need to put attention into hiring. You've got to post online. You've got to talk to people. You have to incentivize your current employees. You have to use some of the resources that are paid online. Get the funnel flowing in. Also provide a great workplace. If you have a great workplace, it's going to speak for itself. They're going to bring people in on their own. And then do your due diligence when interviewing people. Take your time to sit down with them, make sure they fit your culture, the character you're looking for, and check references. If you're not doing anything else than checking references, that is a start. I'm a licensed private investigator. That's where SeekingSitters came from. So background screening is a no-brainer for me. But I even say to anyone, if you're not even doing a background screening, check references. So few people call references. I'll give you an example. A girl that we hired recently, her references said she was a great worker, but she was very flaky. And guess what? It turned out that we knew going into it what we were going to be handed. And turns out that's what happened, So we just kept an eye on schedules and making sure she was coming in. And so references just help you do your business better. And she was a great employee, but we had to always manage a schedule. And so that makes your consideration if you keep that individual on or bring on another individual. And so I just think it's so simple to do a few little things to keep that staff full, to keep the people in your company. People need to make sure they understand that it's not so hard to bring on great people, and don't make any excuses about it. Like, it's work hard at bringing the right people in. You find the right people, treat them well, and they definitely want to stick around. I mean, we want our people to be there, and also don't make them feel like they have to be there if they're not a fit for you, and don't be offended if your company's not a fit for them. I've had some of the greatest people say, I'm just, when in the restaurant world, this is just not the pace or the speed that I want to work at, and so it's not a fit for them. Don't be afraid of that. We do a working interview. I know a lot of companies do this, but we do a working interview that is paid. Our employees, when they start, it's 2 to 3 shifts. So there's no pressure. If we weren't a fit for them, they don't feel like they have to stay on and then they don't have a way out. They just say, this is not a match for me, or maybe it's not a match for us as well. And so there's no commitment. And so things like that help that hiring process as well.
Okay. You gave so much great information in that. I appreciate that, because there's the gamut runs, from students in my class that listen to this to seasoned entrepreneurs. And so just to get a little insight, I think you spoke to everyone in that answer. So I appreciate that. Okay. So in wrapping up, this has been awesome talking to you.
Nancy.
I feel like
I want to catch up with you too. I know it's been a while, and I love hearing that you are still championing entrepreneurs. I agree. It's just the coolest sport. I love it so much, and I get to do it every day. My kids are following in those same footsteps at the restaurant. They're all having a lot of fun learning about business, putting their mind around what it is to kind of run a business now that they're in it with us. So, I mean, it's just so fun. Thank you for continuing to do everything that you do as well.
Yes. Well, thank you. Yes. We'll talk a little bit more, because you do have, so much coming even down the pipe on things that you're going to be working on. And if you don't mention this in my rapid fire, then I might have to ask you one more question. But this is new. I haven't done this before, so I'm starting out with you. But just so people can kind of get an idea a little bit more, maybe some fun insight into you. So, coffee or tea?
Oh, of course, coffee.
I know. We have coffee.
That's right.
Yes. Okay.
For sure.
Yes, coffee. I'm the same. Okay, morning routine you never skip.
You did let me know about that one before, and I don't know if there's any one morning routine that I ever do that's the same. I mean, I would love to read my Bible every morning. That's probably 2 to 3 days a week. I would love to do my journal or my to-do list every morning. That doesn't happen every day. When my feet hit the ground, the morning routine is I'm just doing what's hitting me right then.
Okay.
So, I mean, that honestly is an honest answer.
Okay. I want you to be honest. Okay. And then best business advice you've ever received.
Not everyone is going to like you.
That is good.
You should not do anything based on being liked. You got to put your head down and focus. And that was advice from my mom. It wasn't necessarily business advice. It was advice to a middle schooler, who was struggling, making friends or whatever, how our kids are, whatever. And I think business owners should take that as well in their life, that, we're in a very divisive world right now. I really struggle with the online rating system that's in our business world, because it kind of breeds that divisiveness, and business owners are just working their tail off. And my 12-year-old says it cracks him up that people come in the restaurant and they have an opinion about whatever. And he's like, do you know how hard it took us to get here? It's really cute out of the mouth of babes. And so you have to put your head down as a business owner and remember that not everybody's going to like you, and you're not doing it for every last person. Now you can love them all and do try to help everybody by all means, but keep that in mind, that you're not going to be liked by everyone. And if you struggle with that and that's hard for you, entrepreneurship is going to be hard for you. And so you're going to have some thick skin and some tough skin as you grow in your entrepreneur journey.
I really am thinking about that a lot, because that's kind of along the same lines of who do you take advice from? And if you don't, like, I would love your business advice, but I hold you in high regard. A lot of respect for you. So you have to be selective on who you take advice from, and also, who you surround yourself with, who your friends are. I agree. You don't need everybody to like you. It doesn't, you're not for everybody and everybody's not for you.
Yep. So, I loved one of your events that you're hosting, and the tagline is, you need a community, and you need to be around people that will lift you up. Mm-hmm. And it's so true. Mm-hmm. I mean, I had that community when my kids were young, mm-hmm. and I had the community of entrepreneurial women that we lifted each other up. Right now, my community is my family. And so we're kind of our little tight-knit community. But back then, I couldn't have survived growing in that entrepreneurial world without that community of women. And so I love that your tagline of your group that basically is like lift each other up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I need you in that group. Yes. Okay. So what's a dream that you haven't pursued yet?
I did like that question because I've done it all that I want to be able to do. Not that I've done everything. I just, I kind of got to a point at about 40, when I was 40, that I had done kind of everything on my checklist. And then I just stepped back and I was like, God, you're going to drive now. Like that midlife crisis mm-hmm. Stage. And the journey since 40 has been unbelievable. And so the answer to that is, I don't know. I will let you know in about 5 or 10 years.
Okay. Yeah. So then I might ask about a book, because I thought you might say something about that in this. I know that's something that has been on your heart, that you have actually worked through, and I think you finished it up. So could you share a little bit about what's to come with that?
Absolutely. I wrote a book last time we talked.
Yes.
In one of your retreat sessions, we had a little exercise that was, encouraging us to follow through with kind of something on your plate. And that was the last time I talked to you. And I finished up this book, pre-editing, pre-wrapping it up. But I finished up this book that I'd been working on. And then the restaurants started. And we have been basically underground for 8 months doing the construction and getting everything up and running. And so absolutely, that's kind of the next step is putting that book kind of into fruition and finishing that up. So definitely watch out for that, and I will keep you posted.
Okay. And now you've said it. It's out there.
That's
it's
right.
out there, and I'm going to have you back because
right.
I know a little bit about what it's about, and
it's a lot about what we talked about today. Absolutely. Yeah. So thank you. Yeah.
It'll be a good one. It'll be a bestseller. I have a feeling. Right. I have a feeling. Okay.
We'll see.
So just this last one is, what does following your passion mean to you?
I would hope for everyone that they follow their passion. I think that's just, as a human trait, to be able to do what they enjoy. Now, it can be in a job that maybe you didn't know you were going to be in. It may be in a career that you can't get out of because it's supporting your family. But you can do that in those places. Find a passion in wherever you are and make that part of your job your passion. Mm-hmm. So to me, following my passion has been in entrepreneurialism, being able to create businesses and encourage other people. For sure, that has been my passion. And so I would just encourage other people to look around them and not discount those hardship days and the things that are, mm-hmm. really challenging. Look at something in your own world that you're working on and make it a passion, even in a job that maybe you're wanting to move on to a next thing, for sure. So make everything that you do count, for sure.
Yeah, and you're a testament to that. I love that. So let people know how they can find you, how they can connect with you.
Absolutely. Go to woodfire.food. All of our restaurants are there. We do lots of events at our locations. That's really a lot of the thing that we focus on, is bringing the community together. You're always going to find some sort of live music. We've got comedy events at our speakeasy. Our Lollipops is always popping and a lot of energy. Check out woodfire.food. Find us there. I'm not really super active on social media. So find us through one of our restaurant channels. You'll find us, a lot going on there. We have a lot of people that manage all of our social channels really well. A lot of fun stuff. Stay connected, and please share about us. If you like coming to one of our restaurants, please tell other people. That is absolutely what entrepreneurs do, is they help each other by sharing and letting other people know about their businesses. So come by and visit. We would love to have you.
Good. I love it. Well, thank you again for
Thanks, Nancy.
visiting.
Awesome. Yes,
I know,
absolutely.
you are just awesome.
I know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this episode encouraged you, would you do 2 quick things? They would mean the world to me. Subscribe so you never miss an episode, and come join our free online community. It's an amazing group of women pursuing their passion and purpose and holding each other accountable. We would love to have you. The link is in the description. Until next time, lead with passion and grow with purpose.